What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today we have a fun deck for you. This is Simic Ramp, and I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, this is a standard deck that doesn't have black in it? What's the catch? And there is no catch. This is a deck that actually I think has some legs, it has some potential, but we have to be creative in how we've built it to kind of counteract the current meta. We need to be a little more careful about that. And I'm going to explain that in a little bit, but before we dive into the full deck as it stands, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Angry Jellyfish, LC89, and Silent Labra, thank you so much for doing what you do and helping support the stream. I appreciate it very, very much. And with that, let's get into the deck. All right, so we have a couple key pieces here. Now, a Simic Ramp deck, generally, we have a couple of small creatures, maybe some mana dorks, maybe some spells to help us fetch lands. That's usually what we want to see. This deck is no exception. We have some of that going on here, specifically with Landwar Loam Speaker. This is a great card that actually combos with one of our key finishers, that finisher being Tatyova Steward of Tides. Tatyova is fantastic and really the ultimate builder round for this deck. Tatyova says, land creatures you control have flying. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, up to one target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. So Tatyova is excellent because once we've ramped significantly and we have plenty of lands on the battlefield, it just lifts them all off and they become flyers. So they become 3/3 flyers for everyone we have. Pretty awesome. Additionally, even if we don't get to 7 lands, Landwar Loam Speaker has the ability to tap and turn one of our lands into a 3/3 elemental. If that, you know, and it is a land creature. So if Tatyova's on the board, that creature has flying. That's pretty darn sweet. Now, we need to be careful about instant speed removal, because if we attack with a flying land, and our opponent kills Tatyova, it loses flying, then they can declare blockers. Be careful of that. Be aware of what your opponent is presenting, and whether or not you can deal with that. Now, when it comes to dealing with spells from our opponent, we have a couple ways to do that. We have Spell Pierce and Syncopate. Given the mono black mid-range deck that is very, 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 very common right now, and when I say very common, we can actually officially say that Meathook Massacre is now seeing a higher play rate than Oko Thief of Crowns was back in his heyday. So take that information and do with it what you will. But Spell Pierce and Syncopate both line up beautifully against Meathook Massacre, Invoke Despair, and Liliana. Syncopate specifically also lines up beautifully against Tenacious Underdog and exiles it, by the way. It also deals with Shell Dread quite nicely, because what that mid-range deck is trying to do is establish threats and hit them on earlier, you know, hit their threats on curve. And Syncopate and Spell Pierce both force them to play off of curve or punish them for playing on curve, which is exactly where we want to be. Now, Syncopate becomes less great in the late game. However, this deck is ramping. So if we have to spend like 6 or 7 mana on this thing in the late game, we can. Does it feel good? Not necessarily. But if we absolutely have to keep a threat off the field and, you know, going for the win, I'm 100% going to do that, and I don't care. So, but in the early games where this really shines, if you're, you know, if you drop this and you're on the play, you can counter a Tenacious Underdog on 2, and it exiles. That's awesome. Also, even if you're on the draw, you can hit Liliana with this, which feels really good. Or Graveyard Trespasser before it hits the field. So you can do some good work with this. There's a lot of killer targets that Syncopate lines up very nicely with against that deck right now. So don't be sleeping on this card, or Spell Pierce for that matter, because it does a lot of the same stuff. And people, if you have 1 mana open, they don't assume you have a counterspell most of the time. But we have a 1 mana counterspell, legal and standard, right now. Don't be sleeping on it. Also, we have Augur of Autumn and Topiary Stomper. Both of these cards are fantastic, and Cherokee Man, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm not streaming, by the way. That was I actually rated Cherokee Man earlier today. Good streamer. Definitely check him out. So Topiary Stomper and Augur of Autumn. These are our 3-drops. The goal of these cards is to, well, and Tatyova's 3-drop too, but the goal of these is to make sure we're hitting our land drops on time and getting as many lands onto the battlefield as possible. Augur of Autumn allows us to play lands off the top of our library. Excellent. And if we get Coven later in the game, which is not that hard to do in this deck, we also get the benefit of casting creatures off the top, which is pretty sweet. Anytime you can leverage a resource off the top of your library and you don't have to spend cards in your hand, love it. Like, if you haven't, when you have Augur of Autumn in play, in this deck or in most other situations, and you see a land on the top of your library, even if you have a land in hand, play the one off the top of the library. It is just so much better. It gets you deeper into the action. You don't have to spend the land in hand, so you make sure you're going to hit your land next turn, etc., etc. Augur's great. It's a great card. Especially in a deck like this that has, I believe, 29 lands. Like, we have tons of lands. So we're going to be hitting them. We're going to be hitting them, no problem. And then Topiary Stomper, it ramps us up, and we get a 4/4 Vigilant Body for 3 once we have 7 or more lands. Which, again, we're trying to do as quickly as possible. So, good stuff. Wrenn and Seven. This is another phenomenal way to fill our hands with lands and get them onto the field. And this also pays us off for having a lot of lands in the Tree Folk token. Wrenn and Seven is a killer card right now. And a lot of people, most of the time when you drop this, you're going to want to use the -3. I've noticed people, if they have Hero's Downfall, if they have, you know, well, pretty much anything, they're going to target a Planeswalker to get rid of it. They will. They will do what they have to do to get rid of Wrenn, with good reason. Because if Wrenn and Seven is allowed to untap once, you could draw up to 4 cards off this. I mean, in all likelihood, you're more likely to get 2 or potentially 3 in this deck, but still, it is not impossible to up 1 and immediately draw 4 cards, which, I mean, that's fantastic. Granted, they are all lands, but then, if you manage to hit that down tick, or if you manage to hit the 0 the turn after that, you can drop 4 lands directly onto the battlefield. Tatyova triggers 4 times, boom, 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 you're good to go. Feels great. Boom. I only did 3 booms. Sorry, I had to put all 4 in there. But yeah, so Wrenn and Seven is an awesome payoff. It fits the theme of the deck. It's landfall. It's what we need. Speaking of landfall payoffs that are just dope, we have Cultivator Colossus in the mix. This card's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It has trample, and when it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card, and repeat this process. Now, given the sheer number of lands we have, this is going to allow a lot of lands to hit the field at once. And again, if Tatyova's online, that means a lot of our lands are going to become creatures all of a sudden. Which, yes, it opens us up to a potentially nasty Meat Hook Massacre. Be very careful of that, and keep your spell pierces up. I'm telling you, very important. But Cultivator Colossus, if you can combo it correctly, if you have a handful of land, or if you just get really good draws, you can do some great stuff with this. Also, be wary. This does allow you to draw cards. If your opponent sticks a Shale Dread, you probably don't want to play this if you have lands in your hand. That could be a problem. Actually, or you just opt not to put the land down, because you will draw cards off it. So be aware of that. So that's the thing. But in general, very, very powerful. It combos nicely with what the deck's trying to do. It buffs up the Tree Folk token. It's just good times. And then we also have Titan of Industry. This is the best payoff for ramping to 7 mana in Standard right now. Period. Like, it just is. It's great. It gives you a ton of value the moment it hits the field. It can change it can keep you in a game that is otherwise lost. It helps you come back from behind. It does all the stuff that you want it to do. And oftentimes, if you create the Rhino and you gain life, even if they answer the Titan, you still got great value. You still have a 4/4 and you gain 5 life off it. Like, is that really worth 7 mana? No. But at the same time, worth the 7 mana and pulling a removal spell out of the opponent's hand? Okay. You know, if you gave me a 4/4 creature for 7 that when it entered, you removed your opponent discarded a card and you gain 5 life. Now, is that a great card? No, but it could be worse. And that's ultimately what Titan of Industry is a lot of the time in a fail case. So I'll take it. It's pretty great. But yeah, so Titan is just really, really powerful and can swing a game in our favor. So that's what we want. And this deck is going to have the mana to cast it. So good stuff all in all. I like this deck very, very much. Originally, I was not running so many counter spells. I have found right now in the current meta, counter spells are key because the black deck wants to get out early. Get out early and create a threat and then punish you by having the best removal in the game. Because right now, black has the best removal and the best threats, like by a mile. So that's why we're seeing that deck everywhere right now. So having some disruption, having some counter spells prevents them from sticking the early threats, and it can also help us disrupt the later removal once we've got our game plan online. So that's the idea with those. I'm not convinced this is the best counter package. We're going to go ahead and give it a try. If you have any suggestions, like maybe Disdainful Stroke or Negate, or I know Essence Scatter is around. I'm not sold on that right now. But maybe there's a case to be made for it. So I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think the right ratio or the right counter package is for something like this. I'd be very curious to see what you have to say. So please leave those comments below. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take this thing to the ladder and see if we can't scrape a win or two together. So let's get into it. All right, now we have Tatyova, we have Wrenn. We don't have any counter spells, which I don't love at this point in the game. To be honest, this might be a mull. You know what? And because this looks so much better. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna put the Cultivator away. The Dreamer Cascades aren't great because they enter tapped, but we're gonna be able to have Spell Pierce up on 2. So that's good. I'll take that. And then we're also gonna be able to hit the Augur on 3. Depending on what our opponent's showing, I may choose to sandbag it and yeah, I may choose to wait on that. And the Beside can come in untapped on 2, so we can have a Syncopate available. Here comes the Tenacious Underdog. Mono Black. I was talking about it throughout the entire deck tech. Surprising no one. It is the thing right now. We have the counter up for whatever their 3-drop is. Whether they try to drop Liliana or Graveyard Trespasser. I suspect we're going to see one of those. We are going to be able to counter it. Which feels pretty good. And then the turn... Well, yeah, I might throw Augur. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Abbo, what you got? Show me what you got. Playing with the mismatched swamps. Okay. I can never stand that myself. They're playing around the Syncopate. Holy crap. We're playing against an opponent who actually knows what the hell we're doing. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, as a matter of fact. We can now Syncopate for 2. Shelly. We can Syncopate for 2, but we don't have to. Nope. Get sheltered out of here. Poof. We're still taking 6 to the face here, which does not feel good, but, well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna cry about it. All right. Dream Cascade coming down. Here comes the Augur. We get some intel on what's coming up next. Another Wrenn. Fine. Invoke. Invoke me, bro. Do it. Do it. Yeah. Perfect. You activated my trap card. Let's go. Yes, you were planning on some more cards there. Nope. Not for you. I am going to block one of these. I don't love losing the Augur, but our life total is getting too low at this point, and we're going to have the Wrenn token here coming in as a 5/5. Boom, baby. Now, they could blitz the underdog out and swing at Wrenn, and we would lose them, which is a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, we have a spare, so whatever. I would like Wrenn to survive, if at all possible. They're just going to march. Okay, that's fine. Which means they can't blitz the underdog now, but they have an Infernal Grasp for the Tree Folk. I mean, Wrenn was a 2-for-1. Wrenn was just a straight 2-for-1 right there. And now this is going to poop out a 6/6, and we have the Spell Pierce up just in case. So, could be worse. Could definitely be worse. Invoke me, bro. Nuh-uh. Get it out of here. All right, now we are not in a great position. Make no mistake. This is not looking great for us. This may have just changed things. Tatyova, uptick. We need to draw out lands. 2 lands, I'll take it. Perfect. Let's go. We lose a Syncopate, which is a mild bummer, but not the end of the world. Boom. You know what? No attacks. They probably have some more removal. We're out of counter spells. If they have another invoke, we're just hosed. And okay, here comes the underdog. Crashing in, doing his thing. Sure. Tree Folk's gonna soak that up, no problem. They do draw a card here, sure. Go nuts. Have fun, Home Slice. Do it up. I'll keep a Reckoner Raid. I don't love that, but alright, whatever. Another Tatyova, not really great for us, but whatevs. Alright. I was hoping to get a little bit more than that, but that's okay. Gonna animate the boss here beside Joe. Let's crack in for some aerial damage. I do not love those pings. Those pings are problematic for sure. We have a spare Tatyova, so I'm actually not too worried about it. Now they should go double face here. There it is. Only single face, okay. Oh, because they need to block the Tree Folk on the crackback, sure. Makes sense. Graveyard Trespasser. Ooh, that's some pings. Some pings. I don't like that. Don't ping me, bro. That's okay though. I'm actually feeling good. We're coming back from this. We're coming back. Another land, which normally I'd be pretty happy to see. Kind of indifferent actually. So if we down tick here, we can lift off 2 more critters. It's gonna be 12 in the air. So we can 0 Wrenn. Put 1. No, that's not worth it. That's not worth it. I was trying to get cute here. Instead, I should play the conservative line, play to my outs. And yes, this is a conservative line, believe it or not. Get her down to 1. Pop out a tree. Then I'm gonna play a fresh Tatyova, so we have an untapped Tatyova that can block. That's what we need here. Now, fortunately, that rat does not have menace. Or, no, sorry, does not have haste. It does have menace. But we have 2 blockers back. Halo Scarab? What? I have never seen that card before. Gotta block here, don't have a choice. Got him! Yes! Simic taking down Mono Black in game 1. A couple of well-placed... We spell-pierced 2 Invoke Despairs, and we syncopated a Sheoldred. Those were the keys that made that possible. Good stuff. I dig it. Alright, this hand actually looks pretty great. We don't have the early disruption that I would normally want. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Our opponent's showing Azorius. Interesting. Then we draw the Spell Pierce. I stand corrected. We got exactly what we need. Let's go. All right, cool. Now, we can throw the Loam Speaker right here, right now. Or we can keep the Spell Pierce up for the wedding announcement that they're probably going to throw next turn. We also have Basaijo up here. I'm guessing we're going to see a wedding announcement. I could be mistaken. We could see any number of things here. All right, they're going to pass. Bummer. Oh, well. Not the end of the world. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Yavimaya Coast. Shortly thereafter by the Llanowar Loam Speaker. And now we've got the Spell Pierce. If they have any interaction, we can protect our little homie. Like that. Don't touch my stuff. All right. Feels good. I don't like it when people touch my stuff. Not okay. Don't do that. Don't touch my stuff. Hey, you're still, hey, stop touching my stuff. I don't appreciate this. I do not appreciate this one bit, as a matter of fact. My stuff getting all touched. All right, we got Syncopate up. Tranquil Cove, sure. I'm really wondering what their game plan is here. Karn Silex. The hell? Okay, well, that shuts down, that shuts down the Tenacious Underdog. So that's actually kind of a brilliant play. I respect it. I do. I'm also not really worried about it. Maybe I should be, but I'm worried about weaponizing my lands. We could hit it with a Basaijo, but then we'd give them a land to do that. I don't love that idea. So I'm going to chill, relax. Maxing, relaxing. I'm even going to play this so that we can hit this. We keep the Syncopate up. I'm going to go grab a forest so that we don't have to ping ourselves with that pain land. And hopefully we're going to get up to the Titan of Industry here shortly. Looks like our opponent misses their land drop and passes the turn. I'm not mad at that. Ottawa, the Soaring City coming down. Let's go. I'm going to attempt to play Wrenn and or Seven. We have 2 mana back, so a Make Disappear will not do the job here. If they have a Syncopate of their own, however, or a Negate, we're going to or Disdainful Stroke, or Devious Cover Up. That's annoying, but at the same time, they only have 1 mana back. So, no. I will gladly stack battle you, opponent. Let's do this. All right. And we now have 7 lands, so the Topiary Stomper can crash on in. Oh, it feels good. So then crack Karn Silex for 5 potentially, which will erase my board, which kind of sucks, not gonna lie. And they have to, but they took the whole turn off. So, and we're about to drop a Titan of Industry, so it's all good. All good, baby. All good. And we are gonna go ahead and make the Rhino and gain some life. Ding ding. And I'm even gonna hold the land here because I want to be able to hit Tatyova next turn and then follow up the land so we have a flyer attacking it too. So this, I mean, yeah, Silex was an interesting play. Like, and they did a good job of removing a very meaningful, very powerful board state. But Titan is just so good. It's its own board state. Like, I love it. And I guarantee, like, I mean, well, I would be surprised if this person is not also teched against the mono black deck, because it's just, I mean, if you're teching against stuff, that's just what you gotta do right now. All right, Tatyova, we have Syncopate back, Essence Scatter. I'ma say, nope. I'm being the worst right now. Yes! We got an Esper Control Mage to scoop it up because of our counter spells. Success! All right, Simic Ramp with counterspell backup. I'm telling you, there's something here. There's something here. So let's see if we can do that again. All right. Also, I realize I want to make it abundantly clear. I am aware that in the last game I just filmed, I said Esper at the end. I meant Azorius. All right, Yavimaya Coast giving us access to blue right out the gate is nice for that Syncopate. Our opponent on green, our opponent on Gruul. Ooh, that's the thing. Okay. Keswick Naturalist is looking pretty good. We can't Syncopate it here, but we gave them the pause. Sometimes you gotta give pause. So just gonna switch to nighttime, which kind of sucks. Especially if they attack here because now they have access to so much mana. All right. Fart. We can't reasonably Syncopate squad here. That sucks. All right, I should have thrown the Loam Speaker. Oh well. If they're trying to throw Arlen or Halana and land, oh, I'll Syncopate that. Oh, I will pay 1 off my pain land to Syncopate that all day, all day, no question. Get her done. All right, Otawara is pretty sick. I'll take it. I'm gonna cast out Otawara. I'm gonna throw Loam Speaker. The Auto Tapper, letting our opponent know we don't have a Spell Pierce in hand, which I'm not overly fond of, but what you gonna do? I'm gonna cry about it. All right. Child of the Pack. Okay. Fart. Yeah, us already switching to nighttime kind of sucks, except for the kind of part. That like hella sucks. All right, I'm gonna play the Augur here. We're gonna tap the Loam Speaker. Cultivator Colossus, good card. Not what I need to see right now. I was hoping for a landfall by a 2-drop, so I could switch this over to daytime, but alas, it is not to be. And they have Arlen. I think they're just gonna run us over. Man, Gruul Werewolves, still a thing. Good work, opponent, good work. Yeah, this is the amount of power they have on the board this early is shocking. They were on the play too, which helps to be sure, but I mean that's 13 damage with trample plus the 4 without. I mean, we're just dead. Like the math checks out. They got it. Oh, and they're gonna let you try. You know what? You know what, opponent? Just because you're doing that, haha, take that. I don't know. I'm being petty, but I'll take it. But yeah, no, GG's Gruul Aggro. That was, I mean, that was impressive. That was really impressive. You know, the most we could have blocked was 4 anyway. Even without that lightning strike, we're still dead. But yeah, okay, that was a thing. All right, let's get at least one more game in. See if we can redeem ourselves from that one. This looks like an easy mull. Only 2 lands, other 3 drops. This looks like a snap keep. Let's go. I feel like hanging onto the Titan is like a hella greedy, but I'm going to do it. Let's go. Island. Now we're not gonna have the Loam Speaker on 2. All right, Evolved Sleeper coming down. Sure. Oh, never mind. We could have the Loam Speaker on 2, but I want to keep the Spell Pierce up. Actually, Spell Pierce on 2 isn't particularly great. I should have thrown the Loam Speaker there. Pilfer, never mind. Get out of my hand. No. No. Knock that off. All right. Never mind. We actually did have a target. I am surprised, but I'll take it. All right. Loam speaker. Loam speaker. They, of course, have another Pilfer because that comes in pairs. So the Titan of Industry is going to be hitting the bricks, which is mildly unfortunate, but also not that big of a deal. Cut down hitting my Loam Speaker. Now that sucks diddly Flanders. There's really nothing we can do about that. We do have the Auto so we can punish our opponent if they try to feed mana into the Evolved Sleeper. We could slow him down there, I guess. Yeah, them running the hand disruption actually really hurts us. That mode of the mono black is very strong against us. So, good work, I suppose, opponent. All right. Bank a Buster. We could undo their turn by bouncing the Bank Buster, but you know what? I'm going to bounce the Sleeper because they're not going to be able to attack for 2 damage here. And next turn, they're going to have to replay it if they want it at all. So, that seems decent. Just keep the lands going, I guess. This isn't, Now, our deck is primarily made of lands. Well, not primarily. It's not a true majority, but there's a lot of lands in here. So, that's a thing. I'm really hoping they don't play a 3rd land. They don't, but they don't play... They're holding up Cut Down. They were definitely holding up Cut Down. Pilfer, check out my land. Take a look. Look at my land. It's all I got. It's all I got. But we now have a 4/4 Vigilante on the field, which is nice. Because we don't have any mana issues now. So that's nice. Something, right? We can trade that for Evolved Sleeper, not scared too much, unless they have another kill spell. Cut Down's not going to do the job, but Infernal Grasp does. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Bankbuster just keeping their hand full. That card is cracked too. It's so good. So good. Wrenn and 7. They're tapped out, so let's go. Let's rip it. Treefolk Critter. Got another Infernal Grasp for their home slice, because that is what it's going to take. You have a potential Death Touch blocker, but... I mean, they probably do. They probably have it. Or Invoke Despair here. Invoke Despair, free 3 for 1. Soul Transfer? Yeah, okay. Sure, that might as well happen. And they can pump 1 mana into the Sleeper and kill Wrenn. Cool. This is fun. Alright. So, I gotta say, the black curve that we are designed to contest with is not exactly what our opponent did. They tweaked it a little bit by running those Pilfers, and that actually really jacked up my game plan. We also did have to mull, which wasn't great, but still. Like, they really wrecked my plan. Like, violently wrecked my plan. So that's the thing. That said, we get 1 Cultivator Colossus or Titan off the top, and things could turn around for us. I said I'm going to hold both lands in case we get a Cultivator, because if we get a Cultivator Colossus, this could go turn around really quickly. That said, their hand is jacked. They're full. Yeah, okay. Invoke Despair, sure. Free 3 for 1. I mean, it's a 5 mana card that says guarantee a 3 for 1. I don't understand how Wizards thought that card was okay. And we draw another, we draw a Syncopate. This is way too late. All right. Yep. So anyway, all right. So it's not foolproof against the mono black deck by any means. I am going to counter this just because we can. But that is all we got. You are welcome to pay all 5 for it if you want, homie. Sure. Good work. You stuck your Curse of Leeches. You killed me with a Sleeper anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so all in all, not the note I wanted to end on, but we did show off what this can do against the mono black deck. At the end of the day, it is the most powerful deck in the format because it is full of the most powerful cards in the format. It's that simple. We cannot beat that deck consistently. That's what it makes it kind of problematic. But at the end of the day, we still can put up a good fight against them. We didn't have great draws that last game, and they hit our hand. They hit our hand with those 2 Pilfers that really sucked. Had they not forced to discard that Titan of Industry, this would have been a very different game. Alas, here we are. In any event, thank you so much for checking out the video. I appreciate it very, very much. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to the channel. And yeah, I will catch you on the next one.